Welcome back to the X&O Sports Show. This is your host, Ricky G. Stanley. No breaking news tonight, but we do got some good sports events to happen this weekend, so you're going to be in for a good one. We're going to start off with a little bit of football. Pretty much, I've been looking at the draft stuff, and I've been looking at the NFL teams, and I've been asking this question to the GMs. What are y'all doing? I've never seen so much foolery in my life. So, uh, I was looking at the trade. So there are teams that would trade up, that are further back, and trade up into the draft. And some teams, I was like, that just don't make sense, especially for who they're trying to get. Now, if it's a lock pick, like like okay, this guy is gonna be this type of player. If you're gonna like, you know what, at number 2, I know I'm gonna get a Peyton Manning type player. A 10-year plus type veteran, over time. Or I'm going to get a LaDainian Tomlinson type pick or LT from back in the day from the Giants. Those are those picks, you know what? If he stays healthy, I know it's going to be worth this pick. But some of these teams, I'm looking like. So, if you look at some of these picks, let's start off with how if these picks don't work, heads will roll. We're talking about GMs, coaches, football operations. They're getting rid of all these guys. Because I just feel like some of this stuff is just common sense. 1 + 1 = 2. You can throw some algebra calculus in there, but you can get along in life with just regular math. So let's start off with Jets Nation. They trade Sam Darnold, and I think Sam Darnold actually got the better of that issue. You get this guy, you have him for 3 seasons. Since you drafted him, let's take a look at this. I did a deep dive on this, and I'm looking like, okay, why is Sam Darnold not producing? I looked at him in college. He was not great, but he was a pro quarterback. So I'm like, okay, he's big, he's strong. I think in the right system, he'll play well. Then he go to the Jets. So I'm looking like, geez, like he didn't have a terrible career there, but they didn't do any help. Check this out. So I looked at the draft that they did since 2018 when Sam Darnold was drafted. He got Chris Herndon out of Miami. This guy had a total of 796 yards and 7 touchdowns in 33 career games. That's not blowing anybody out of water with stats. Okay. Then you had Trevon Wesson. He had 3 catches, 52 yards. That's in 3 seasons. Okay. Then you had Denzel Mims, 23 catches, 357 yards. It's not good either. So these guys were the offensive weapons and threats that they drafted for him since he was drafted. So okay, well, maybe they didn't draft. Maybe they went into free agency. I got that too. Free agents. Quincy Enunwa. Please don't get on me, Quincy, for mispronouncing your name. I tried my best. He had 449 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 fumbles. So then you got J.J. Jones, had 1 catch for 3 yards. It's not good. So it gets worse. Terrell Pryor. Nope, that didn't turn out too well. Jermaine Kearse. Nope. Remember him out of Seattle? He didn't turn out well either. So I'm like, okay, let's see what weapons he did have that actually played decent. So he got Jamison Crowder, which didn't play terrible. He didn't play bad, but Jamison Crowder, to me, in my personal opinion, looking at the way he plays, he's better as a slot player. And then you have the speedy Robbie Anderson that went to Carolina. And to me, the way Robbie is built and the way he plays, I can get the most out of Robbie Anderson in the slot as well. I don't really see those 2 guys as number 1 or number 2 type guys. If you're a number 2 option, you'd be mostly in the slot. So after looking at some of this stuff, I'm looking like this kid didn't have a fighting chance. Outside of catching mono and a couple of injuries, like he didn't have a fighting chance with the Jets. And I'm looking like, well, what did they draft? Yeah, so they drafted a lot of defensive players. I'm not gonna lie, some of those guys actually were pretty good, But if you're going to draft a quarterback as high as Sam Darnold, known that he's going to need some weapons to produce, and you don't, you got Le'Veon Bell for him. Le'Veon Bell, I don't even think he played the whole season. And he was not the same Le'Veon Bell. So, like, I feel like they did a halfway due diligence to make sure he succeeded. Now, of course, he didn't throw lights out numbers like he was Peyton Manning, but I feel like they didn't ever give him a fighting chance. So, like I said, they had some good defenders, but most of those guys wanted out. So, now you're back to, the number 3 overall pick? Of course, everybody knew, number 2 pick, if I'm not mistaken. So, everybody knew since last year Trevor Lawrence is going to be the number 1 pick. I really don't have a problem with it because, to me, he was the best player coming out at that position. All those other guys can throw them out, can do this, do that, but I know Trevor Lawrence, if healthy, he can play day 1. The number 2 quarterback I felt like was coming out that can compete. Now his game need to be polished, but I felt like if he played well enough, some crazy team could have took him over Trevor if Jacksonville traded down, and I felt like that was Justin Fields. Just a personal opinion. So the fact that the Jets have the number 2 pick, and from my understanding and reading it in news and all this other foolery, they're going to pass on Justin Fields and go get another quarterback. Now, like I said, if you're going to be that high, you can't really swing and miss too many times at that high in the draft. You're that high in the draft because you suck. Your team was pitiful. There's no way around it. So you're going to go get a quarterback that is really unproven, and he's from BYU. I don't get it. Like, I'm baffled right now. I'm trying to figure out what did this kid do that he jumped all these quarterbacks and all these guys that were originally saying, hey, Justin Fields is number 2, Trevor Lawrence is a lock for 1. Then this kid from BYU coming. And so I went and did a video like a month ago on this same kid when I did my mock draft. Now, I had him as a number 3 quarterback just because nobody else really stood out outside of Mac Jones. But I was like, okay, he could maybe get a late first round. I forgot what my prediction was, but I didn't have him going this high. Now they're saying he's going ahead of Justin Fields. At least with Justin Fields, I know what his problems are. But he has more strengths than weaknesses. And 2, I don't feel like the kid from BYU is going to be ready to play in New York. It is rough, it is rowdy, and it's just as bad as Philadelphia. The fans are rough there. But like I said, if they take him, hey, I don't see him. He ain't that good. Like I said, he's not terrible, but they didn't do enough for Sam Darnold to proceed to move forward. Sam Darnold didn't even make it to the end of his rookie deal before he got traded. So this kid is pretty much going to be the Mitchell Trubisky thing all over again. Mitchell Trubisky was drafted too high. He should have never been drafted that high. And if you want to draft him in the first round, great. I didn't have him in the top 15 picks, more or less in the first round. But all of a sudden, he had a good pro day and people got excited about him. Oh, he's athletic. But, he couldn't hit the side of a barn if he really had to do it. So, like I said, Mitchell Trubisky, he wasn't terrible, but he didn't have a long career at UNC. He played 1 good year. This kid played 1 good year. So, like I said, I don't see it. But I hope that he proves me wrong and he end up being the Andrew Luck of the Colts. I hope he be that type of player because if not, heads will roll. They're going to give that kid 2 years and maybe 1 if they go play bad this year. Yeah, they're going to fire and get another quarterback next year already. I can see it. Just ask that kid that came out of UCLA a couple years ago. He got 1 year at Arizona. They played terrible, and he got traded after his first year to the Dolphins. And then Kyler Murray was the quarterback the very next year. And he was picked in the first round, 12th pick. Why can I not remember that kid's name? It don't matter. He didn't play long. But San Francisco was another team I'm looking like, what are you doing? You guys have been around football all your life. X's and O's. The combines and all that stuff, that is something just for us to talk about until football season. It's great. It's cool. It's the Underwear Olympics. Great. But San Francisco, Let's start out from the beginning. Roll that beautiful bean footage back to that 5-year, $137 million contract. You gave that to a non-proven quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't care what y'all say, like, oh, well, Jimmy was behind Tom Brady. He was in the Bill Belichick system. All right, tell me another quarterback besides Jimmy G that actually produced outside of, what was it, Matt Castle? Was it Castle? Yeah. That won games. Tell me that. Like, I want to, like, put in the comments because I could be wrong. I'm shooting the blanks here. But I can't really remember a quarterback that really left the Patriots. Maybe the kid that went for the Colts a couple years, but he didn't really take them to the playoffs. So, like, yeah, I can't really think of anybody that really left that system outside of Tom that has really played well. So, Jimmy G, like I said, he played a couple snaps or a couple games at best when Tom was suspended. And then he goes to the 49ers, plays 6 games. Oh, he goes 6-0. Everybody plays well when you ain't got no tape on you, son. As soon as they got tape on him, the kid from Tampa Bay, he didn't even play the whole season. Picked him off, pick 6, walk in the end zone on him. Jimmy G, to me, I felt like he can be a good quarterback. He fits in that system, but he's a game manager. He is not an elite top quarterback, in my opinion. Like I said, he's serviceable. He can win you games, but you got to hide him behind play action. You got to hide him behind, gadget plays. Like, Jimmy G is not terrible, but I don't think he can win you the game. Just like the Super Bowl. That play was called to perfection. It was heavy on the play action. They've been killing with the run for the last 2 games in the playoffs, so of course the linebackers are going to bite on the run. He has his receiver wide open. He practiced that throw for at least 12 days before the Super Bowl and overthrows him. You got to be kidding me. That's a 57-yard throw. That's a pro throw. Most kids from high school can make that throw. Now, I don't know how accurate that'd be, but you're getting paid. Jimmy G, you're not known to have a cannon, so you got to be more accurate and, cost them Super Bowl. But but outside of that, like I said, they got all the way to Super Bowl with him, but like they did have to run the ball a whole lot. I think they killed the Green Bay Packers, with the running game. Like, dude had like 200 in the first half. I could be exaggerating, but it was bad. So I'm a big fan of what Jimmy G can do. But like I said, I ain't felt like he was worth 5 years, $137 million. So that was what their organization did wrong the first time. So now you're trading up in the draft for what? You went from 6 to 3. Most of the time when you're going to get that high, you're going after a quarterback. You're going after a player that's definitely your guy, and he is playing day one, and you're going to build your franchise around him. And from this speculation, oh, God. People telling me they're going to trade up to get Mac Jones. That's gotta take a sip of wine on that one. Mac Jones at number 3 overall? I don't get it. How is it that this guy was a 2nd or 3rd round pick? This is the same thing with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield turned out to be pretty decent. He's not bad. He's not elite yet. But Baker Mayfield wasn't even really projected to be in the 1st round. He goes over 1st overall. Kyler Murray, same thing. Nobody really had him predicted because they didn't know if he was going to play baseball. All of a sudden, he goes 1st overall. I don't think Kyler Murray is bad. I think Kyler Murray will be elite eventually. I think Baker Mayfield has a shot of being elite eventually. But the fact that Mac Jones go from a 3rd round pick to the number 3rd overall pick and you traded up to get him? Whew. So, like I said, I've been a fan of John Lynch as well. John Lynch played for the Buccaneers years ago. Won that Super Bowl in 2000. Kyle Shanahan, everybody know his dad used to coach for the Broncos. I want to say he coached for the Redskins when RG3 was there. They had that winning season. I think they've had a bad hand when it comes to players as well as injuries. So when he first got there, he didn't really have a quarterback. So he had to, kind of get a feel for who he had. Not bad, Then he turned around and he got Jimmy G. Okay. Jimmy G didn't play bad, but he tore his ACL. And then the following year, they go to the Super Bowl and they lose it. And then Jimmy G gets banged up this year, and Kittles get banged up, and then two of the other players tear their ACLs. I'm like, geez. So like he's calling good plays, and he does what he does best, but it's about wins and losses. Let me show you what Kyle Shanahan has done. Mind you, John Lynch got there the same day he did. So Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are 29-35 with the 49ers. For anybody that's, not gurus of math, that is not even over 500. That will get you fired. So if they trade up, this is the big thing. If they trade up to get Mac Jones and this does not work out, both of their heads will roll. If I am the owner, I like Kyle Shanahan. He's very exclusive with his play calling. He has a lot of creativity. I feel like John Lynch did more building on the defense, which was very good. But you can't go 29-35 and you hit all these first round picks and you have a losing season this year because your conference ain't that good. I mean, ain't that easy. You got Seattle, you got Kyler Murray in Arizona, you got the Rams that could possibly. So you could possibly be the fourth in your conference this year if you slip up. Yeah, so that's very bad. Like I said, at best, Mac Jones, to me, at the best, even with him playing this well this year, was a second-round pick in my book. How I came up with that grade, I know you wanted to ask that question. So I looked at every team of what they needed. And I looked at everybody that came out. And everybody that was playing well that was coming out. Nobody got hurt. Nobody had bad draft stocks. Nobody got arrested. None of that. So at best, even with Mac Jones winning the title, I had him as a second-round pick at best. Now that they threw him all the way into the mix of the third overall pick, that throws Justin Fields back down one more. And then they talk about the kid from North Dakota State could go next. So Justin Fields can end up slipping all the way down and pull a Lamar Jackson and be late in the first round. But I think wherever he goes, I think he'll work hard and have that chip on his shoulder. I still think he'll play well. But now we got the negative out the way for football. Let's talk about somebody I am very excited to see play this year. Number one is Patrick Frank Surtain II. I am excited to see this young man get to play in the NFL. This dude is big. He's fast, and he is physical. The fact that I saw him play in the boundary as a corner, as well as the long side of the field and a little bit of slot, showed me he has versatility. And I felt like when he played at Alabama, it was a man amongst boys out there. Like, some of those routes, it didn't like he was running full speed to cover them. But at NFL, you got to bring it every week. So, Patrick, bring it every week because I'm going to be watching you. I got you checked off on my list. If you're healthy, I'm going to be watching. Like I said, I think a good matchup this year would have been Jamar Chase and Patrick Surtain II. But, Jamar Chase sat out this year. So, like I said, I felt like he was a man amongst boys. Number two is everybody know I'm a Hurricanes fan. I am excited about Jalen Phillips. Now, the other guy, Russo, he got a long last name. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Well, I can't pronounce his name. But they both were the same number. He sat out this year to get ready for the draft. We knew he was going to be a top pick. No hard, no foul. We knew he was going to be a top pick. So, hey, he sat out to prepare and not get COVID. Cool. That was the best decision for him and his family. However, Jalen Phillips had I ain't said a lot, but a few injuries with UCLA. He transferred to the University of Miami, and he played well. This young man had a pro day from where. He even surprised me, and I watched him play for 12 games. He is, I ain't going to try to mess his stats up. He weighed in at 6'5" and a half, 260 pounds, dropped a 4.56. Good Lord, that's scary. As a pocket passer, some people are not fast. So as a pocket passer, a guy that runs a 4.56, if you get pressure up the middle and he is wreaking havoc off the edge, you can count yourself as sacked. That guy, if he can bend around those tackles like I think he's going to be able to do, Philadelphia Eagles, please draft him. I mean, we got the 12th pick. I mean, we need a lot of things. We're not going to get one of those three receivers, or those two. I don't think we're gonna get none of those three receivers. I think the key, even the second kid from Alabama, number 17, I think he's gonna be gone too. Pitts, he's gonna be gone early. So why not start building on that defense? You know, we need to get some help at defensive end because we was very thin at that position. So why not build from that position up? Like I said, we're not probably going to get a receiver that we want. It's a couple guys that I've been looking at. I mean, like I said, after the first 2 or 3 receivers and Pitts, I don't really see anybody that's going to be a true number 1. So we got to work with what we got. Get creative with that play calling. But I think that kid, if he gets drafted in a 4-3 scheme and they let him come off the edge, he's going to give a lot of people the business. But speaking giving people the business, I watched the Miami Heat give the Nets the business this evening. Oh, my goodness. I think it's Abadawo. Man, I mess that man's name up every time. But the big fella, he worked tonight. He played as a big man. He wasn't doing all that three-point shooting like the Blake Griffins of the world. He got down there in the post. And I was very proud of him because I watched him and I'm yelling the whole time. I'm looking like, because he gets the ball on the block and he faces him. And he looks and he sees help coming. So he dishes it off. I'm like, oh no, don't pass it. But he passed it to see what the defense would do. So they passed it back to him. And I'm yelling, the defense, the double team is not going to get there. And he takes him off the dribble, comes over top the guy with 1.2 seconds left and hit the game winner. I'm not even a Heat fan like that. I was running all around this place. I love good basketball. And even though the Nets lost, they have nothing to hang their head on because they were in the game and they held the lead the majority of the time. So I think that's going to be the Eastern Conference Finals right there. The Heat versus the Nets. I think that's going to be a good one. And Jimmy Butler will be back. I think he was banged up tonight. So he didn't play. KD didn't play. But Kyrie did. James Harden didn't. Like I said, I think with all of them, that'll be a good Eastern Conference Finals. Now for the West, I don't know about that. With LeBron hurt, AD hurt, Jamal got hurt with the ACL. It shook some things up with these injuries. So I don't know, but let's pull up some scores from this weekend though. So let's go to Saturday. Let's start off on Saturday. So we had the Spurs beat the Suns 111-85. Let's pull this a little closer. Let's see. The Grizzlies beat the Bucks. Grayson Allen? Okay. I haven't heard that name since he was tripping people at Duke. He had 26 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Giannis had 28, 11, and 8, but it was not enough. The Warriors had a great game. I actually watched most of that game. Steph Curry had an outstanding 47 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Unfortunately, Jason Tatum had a counter punch with 44 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. Jason Tatum, to me, sometimes he plays like he got a little bit of Kobe in him. I was proud of that young man. The Bulls beat the Cavaliers. The Bulls are actually 23-33. They're still in the running of the playoffs, I guess. Nikola Vujacic. Did I say that right? 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Darius Garland had 22, 2, and 12. Okay, not bad for a point guard. All right, so the Pistons lost to the Wizards. Bradley Beal, that man, he be killing. I'll be glad when they get him some help because I love the fact that he said, I don't want to leave, I want to build. So he's giving out work every night. He got his team 23-33 as well. He's leading the helm, 37 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. My Lakers find a way to get the win. Andre Drummond, Mr. Walking double-double himself. Didn't get a double-double, but he did have 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. We beat the Jazz. And we beat out Joe Ingles that had that 20 points and 14 assists. So let's get on to Sunday night, which was actually not a bad night of basketball. We had the Clippers beat the Timberwolves. Yeah. Paul George, playoff P, 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Kings beat the Mavericks. Fox had 30 points, 4 rebounds, and 12 assists. Luka Doncic had 37 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. The Thunder lose to the Raptors, 31-12-2 by Chris. And we got the Rockets finally winning. Jeez, 114-110. Chris Woods, good game, 25-10-3 as a center. The Blazers lose to the Hornets. Terry Rozier, oh my goodness, that fella was playing. 34 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists as the leading scorer. CJ McCollum had 22, 6, and 6. Then, like I said, earlier the Heat beat the Nets 109-107. His first name is Bam Adebayo. I think that's his name. Jeez. I gotta get better with his name. The Knicks are 31-27. I give the Knicks a hard time, but they're actually playing some good basketball. Julius Randle, I didn't like when the Lakers drafted him, but I did get comfortable with the pick. But I hate that we traded him once he started to get a feel for the game. But he had 33, 5, and 10 tonight. And Zion had 34, 9, and 5, but it was not enough. And the Pacers did not have enough to beat the Hawks. Trae Young had 34, 5, and 11. That was pretty good basketball this weekend. As you can tell, I got a new Phillies hat on for you Philly fans, and for you non-Philly fans. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I think it's this side. I got the 42 on it because Jackie Robinson Day was this week. For all you good baseball fans out there, I'm going to go to the standings because there's a lot of baseball games. So we're just going to go to who is leading. So the Red Sox are leading the American East. They're 10-6. Kansas City Royals are 9-5. The Mariners are 10-6. Didn't see that coming. Okay, Mariners. They don't have a good home record, but they play good away. The New York Mets are leading the National League East. Unfortunately, my Phillies, we did not fare well in that series with them this weekend. But we're 8-7, so we're still number 2 in our standings. So we got time to make up for that. The Cincinnati Reds are playing well. They're 9-6. The Los Angeles Dodgers are killing everybody that's coming. They are 13-3. I watched the Braves tonight. Who did they play? The Cubs. Holy moly, that man gave up 4 home runs, and I swear in like the first 25 pitches. I'm thinking this was a highlight reel and it was the same home run over and over. No. Oh my God. Let me see, can I pull that game up? It was like, where is that score at? I swear it was like 13-3. I haven't seen a beatdown that bad in a while. But yeah, I can't even find it. Oh, it's 13-4. Yeah, they smoked the Cubs. But like I said, come on, Phillies, Bryce, I think he got a home run tonight. Like I said, we won 2-0. I think that pitcher from the Mets, he's all of 5'9". I think he's pretty good. And but I hope he plays terrible against us next time we play him. But I'm glad you guys been watching. Hopefully we can get our episodes with our special guest on this week. Keep watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Ricky Stanley, and I am out of here.